Chapter 106, Little Gold Transition. Furthermore, if one day Kang Chong comprehended well, then blade intent would arise from this move, and it would become even more terrifying, and might actually be able to break the heavens and split the earth. In the entire Flood Wasteland continent, the strongest people who were able to comprehend the blade intent were all big names in the cultivation world. As for Kang Chong, at this moment, he already had this kind of potential, and I was afraid that not many people would believe it if it was spread out. After all, who would believe that a youth who had yet to end his Dan was already so close to blade intent? Such a terrifying talent would shock everyone. Ow. In the sky, a nearly 10-meter-long bird-like demonic beast swept past, emitting a powerful Jidan stage pressure, causing the demonic beasts in the forest below to take cover. Kang Chong raised his head to gaze, the long black blade in his hand having long since been gripped tightly. With that, a brilliant silver-colored blade streaked across the void, the blazing light dazzling, cutting a dazzling arc in the sky and slashing down on the big bird head-on. That instant of light caused the sun in the sky to lose its color. Woo! The big bird let out a mournful cry and fell from the sky, scarlet blood raining down on the long sky. On the ground, Kang Chong's expression remained unchanged as he retrieved his long blade and continued walking towards the distance. With one blade, the Jidan demonic beasts were destroyed. The power of this blade was already enough for Kang Chong to deal with all of his current opponents. Boom, boom, boom. However, right at this moment, the earth trembled, and in the forest in the distance, a roar suddenly came from the forest, followed by the sound of the earth roaring. Kang Chong's eyes instantly condensed, stopping his traveling steps as he turned to look. Not far away, a behemoth appeared, for stout paws, topped by a huge body more than 10 meters long. On top of this huge body, a grayscale crawled all over it, flashing with an icy cold light. Roar! The giant beast roared, opening its huge mouth, a tooth inside like a sharp arrow, revealing itself in front of Kang Chong. That ferocious aura lunged straight towards Kang Chong. Kang Chong's face immediately changed. The aura emitted by this huge beast was the strongest he had encountered since he entered the forest of demonic beasts, except for those Yuanying stage demonic beasts, of course. Haha, kid, now you've encountered a big guy. This is a 1000-year crocodile. Its strength is comparable to a strong person. At the 9th level of the Jidan stage, it's definitely a formidable enemy for your kid. The Dan Emperor's loud laughter was heard in his mind. Kang Chong couldn't help but skim his mouth. If it wasn't for Emperor Dan's deliberate omission, this millennium crocodile was something he could completely avoid. However, this time the Dan Emperor was going to put him to a test. Kang Chong stared in anticipation, the long black blade in his hand, already revealing a gorgeous sharpness. 9th level Jidan stage demonic beasts. This kind of strength was already comparable to that level of the Imperial capitals for masters. And with his current cultivation level, it was still a bit of a stretch. After all, Kang Chong did not break through the Jidan stage now. And between the 9th level of Foundation Establishment and the 9th level of Jidan stage, there was a difference of 10 realms. Even if Kang Chong was no longer talented, this kind of cultivation gap would still be hard enough for him. It could be said that this time Kang Chong didn't dare to have any reservations, not to take out his real strength. Roar! Just as Kang Chong was concentrating, the millennium crocodile on the opposite side had already waited impatiently. It had been slumbering in the distance and was suddenly awakened by Kang Chong's slash. Its heart was already filled with anger. The millennium crocodile's body was huge, and Kang Chong was about the size of a small rabbit in front of him, which made it unable to help but underestimate Kang Chong, and merely raised its big foot and stomped down hard on Kang Chong. Obviously, to it, the little rabbit in front of it was simply unbeatable. At this time, Kang Chong was the one who met it with a fist, letting out a low cry from his mouth. Overlord Fist. Kang Chong blasted out with his fist, and thick true essence instantly gushed out from his body, like the Yangtze River. Rushing along his fist, the blazing light incomparably bright. Rumble. The silver-colored fist instantly clashed with the gigantic paw of the 1,000-year crocodile, erupting into a deafening roar. Kang Chon instantly felt a huge force coming from the millennium crocodile's paw. His feet instantly sank, and he was directly pressed into the ground, half an inch by this huge force. At this moment, the millennium crocodile on the opposite side was stunned. This bunny-sized human in front of him was able to possess such strength. This was incredible. However, the cultivation gap between Kang Chon and the 1,000-year crocodile was still too great, and in the end, he had to retreat, dodging the 1,000-year crocodile's continued attack. "Kid, aren't you looking for death by comparing your strength with this big guy?" Emperor Dan laughed and cursed. "Just now was just warming up." Kang Chon smiled at his words. Then his eyes narrowed, icy cold light penetrated out. The long black blade in his hand slowly tightened its grip, and a light gradually lit up on the blade. Roar. At this time, the distant 1,000-year crocodile launched a charge at Kang Chon, its huge body swooping down like a small mountain. The powerful aura was near suffocating. In an instant, Kang Chon moved. A radiant blade aura was a step faster than his figure, cutting towards the running millennium crocodile. Facing the 1,000-year crocodile, Kang Chon felt that the hegemony fist would not be able to defeat him, and immediately used the heaven breaking. Immediately, an unrivaled overbearing intense rushed straight into the firmament, and the millennium crocodile's ferocious aura stagnated as it was shaken by this powerful aura. Immediately, it was the sound of the blade ripping through space, under the infusion of Kang Chon's thick true essence. The long black blade shot out a 100-foot blade. The terrifying power, like a flood that had broken the levee, exploded out in an instant and fell in a single slash. Boom! The vast saber aura directly hit the 1,000-year crocodile, emitting an explosive sound, followed by a bright light. A powerful tearing force continuously impacted against the 1,000-year crocodile's gigantic body. Under this wave of impact, the massive body of the 1,000-year crocodile was shaken back 100 steps. Roar! The intense pain instantly enraged the 1,000-year crocodile, which roared up to the sky and pounced towards Kang Chon once again, its fierce eyes staring fiercely at Kang Chon. A knife is ineffective. Kang Chon's body came out, once again slashed a knife to break the sky. The matchless blade was like divine punishment spitting down. The entire sky seemed to be torn apart by the powerful force. But the powerful millennium crocodile resisted hard. It opened its bloody mouth and bit at Kang Chon. It was actually trying to swallow Kang Chon along with him. HMPH. Kang Chon laughed coldly. His body swept out once again, the long blade in his hand still executing Heaven Breaker. The 1,000-year crocodile's body was huge, and it was obviously slower than Kang Chon in terms of movement, so it was unable to attack Kang Chon for a while, and it roared in anger. Kang Chon continued to execute Broken Sky, and entangled with it, each blade slashed at the same part of the millennium crocodile's body, calculating very accurately. Under such and such intense attacks, the 1,000-year crocodile also finally felt a great threat, and it sacrificed its own demonic Dan, suppressing it towards Kang Chon. Instantly, the powerful pressure of the 9th level of the Jiden stage caused Kang Chon to nearly suffocate. Kang Chon's complexion was immediately grave. Sure enough, the cultivation gap between him and the 1,000-year crocodile was still too great. Although he remained undefeated for the time being, it would be difficult to win. The defense of the 1,000-year crocodile was extremely powerful, and after Kang Chon had executed Heaven Breaking dozens of times, he was only lightly injured, which had to be said to be a miracle. One must know that an ordinary Jiden stage demonic beast would not be able to block Heaven Breaking once. From this, it could be seen that the 9th level of the Jiden stage demonic beasts were powerful. Kang Chon couldn't help but start thinking in his heart, should he execute the heaven escaping hand. But thinking about the defense of the 1,000-year crocodile, he felt that even the heaven escaping hand might not be able to harm him. After all, in terms of attacking power, the heaven escaping hand was still a bit worse than the heaven breaking. The real role of the heaven escaping hand was to trap and capture the enemy. Attacking was not its forte. The heaven breaker that Kang Qian had created now was the strongest in terms of attacking power amongst all of his divine abilities. If Broken Sky couldn't help the Millennium Crocodile, he would have no choice but to retreat. Kid, this 1,000-year crocodile is currently not something you can defeat. Let's go. This time is just for you to see the power of the 9th level of the Jiden stage. When you wait until the Imperial capital, I'm afraid that you'll have to face a powerhouse at the level of the Imperial capital's 4 masters. Emperor Dan's voice came out. Kang Qian nodded his head at the words, and then prepared to execute the heaven escaping hand to trap the 1,000-year crocodile. But right at this moment, a soft eek came from Emperor Dan's mouth. Kid, the little monkey has awakened. It has broken through the Jiden stage and is about to cross the tribulation. Quickly disperse. The Dan Emperor fiercely drank, and then Kang Qian saw Little Gold being thrown out of the reverse heavenly cauldron by the Dan Emperor. Roar. Like a golden sun, Little Gold roared up to the sky. His body erupted with a blinding golden light, the dazzling light illuminating the entire earth. In this instant, the powerful aura that erupted from Little Gold's body caused the Millennium Crocodile not far away to be shaken back dozens of steps. Immediately afterwards, the sky immediately dimmed. Dark rubber clouds instantly shrouded the sky, and above the dark dome of the sky, it was covered with a terrifying lightning bolt, and the brilliant light tore through space, emitting a sound that shocked the heart and soul. Kang Qian continuously retreated until he retreated 10,000 meters away. Only then did he watch with a face full of horror at the place that was shrouded by the heavenly calamity in the distance. What a terrifying heavenly tribulation! The power of the heavenly tribulation that Grandfather crossed last time was 100,000 miles worse than this. Kang Qian looked at the terrifying heavenly tribulation cloud in the sky with a face full of shock. The tribulation that his grandpa crossed last time was simply one in the sky and one on the ground. Compared to this one of Shaojin's, it couldn't be compared. Ha! That's for sure. This little monkey is a direct descendant of the Vajra divine monkey. Its bloodline is incomparably powerful. It's a supreme divine beast. Its heavenly tribulation is naturally extraordinary. It's no worse than the heavenly tribulation of those geniuses who have formed the 9 revolutions. Golden Dan. Emperor Dan laughed out loud. After a year of slumber, at this time, Little Gold had completely refined the enormous power in the Dragon Pearl, and his cultivation had directly broken through to the Jiden stage, and it was still a direct rush to the Jiden stage 3rd layer realm. Possessing the powerful bloodline of the Vajra divine monkey, although Little Gold was only at the 3rd level of the Jiden stage, his strength was not much worse than that of the Millennium Crocodile at the 9th level of the Jiden stage. And once he was berserked, he could even fight head-on with the Millennium Crocodile. The little guy is powerful this time. Kang Qian laughed happily. He was happy for Little Gold from the bottom of his heart. Little Gold's strength was powerful and would be his biggest help in the future. Moreover, once Little Gold crossed the heavenly tribulation, it would open the ancient inheritance, and it was likely that he would get the divine ability to speak from it. Generally speaking, demonic beasts could only open their spirit to speak when they reached the Yuanying stage. But Little Gold was a Vajra divine monkey, and once he broke through the Jiden stage, he would receive the ancient inheritance that the Vajra divine monkey had left in his bloodline, and it was hard to guarantee that he wouldn't be able to open his mouth to speak first. In this way, it would be much easier to communicate in the future. Roar. Just as Kang Qian was overjoyed, the Millennium Crocodile in the distance launched an attack on Little Gold. To be precise, it was the 1,000-year crocodile that sensed the terror of Little Gold's heavenly tribulation and didn't want to accompany Little Gold through the tribulation. But Xiaojin did not let him go and hardened himself to force it to stay behind. Instantly, the heavenly tribulation in the sky led the 1,000-year crocodile as a tribulation participant as well, enveloping it in the tribulation clouds along with it. Although the 1,000-year crocodile wasn't spiritually intelligent, it wasn't a pure idiot either, and immediately became furious and attacked the Little Gold developer violently. These two demonic beasts then fought fiercely under the heavenly tribulation. Little Gold knew that the Millennium Crocodile was very powerful and didn't dare to be careless. At the first time, he executed berserking, and immediately his body became incomparably huge and was comparable to the Millennium Crocodile. The two huge demonic beasts began the most savage attack, both sides directly than the power, hard and straight, no fancy attacks. In the distance, Kang Chong gazed at the watch in the body of the Little Gold and the 1,000-year crocodile. He saw the incomparable terrifying physical strength of the demonic beast clan. It was simply powerful and terrifying,